Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Chelsea news, we've not had much of it recently. When the transfer window isn't open, there isn't really much to talk about. But today, we've got a good one for you. We're going to talk about Estêvão. We're going to talk about Cole Palmer. We're going to talk about the potential of a Saudi takeover. Is it even possible? We're going to delve into that today. And we're also going to take a little look at the news regarding none other than JustACoupleGs, the youngster, the Chelsea right back who apparently isn't going to play for Chelsea until he signs a new deal. I want to talk about the morality behind this. Is it the right thing for the club to do? And are we missing a trick here when it comes to the young talents and quintessentially the way that we're treating them? Is it the right way? Does it send the right message? And is it the right thing to do? We're going to talk about that today. But let's first of all begin with a little bit of admin. If you don't yet follow the podcast on both Apple Podcast and Spotify, I'm going to throw up the QR code on the screen now. And also throughout this video, if you missed this chance and you want to keep playing it through, just click it a little bit later on today. And if not, there's a link in the description. As well as that, I'm starting to do some vlogs. Not every single day, but every other day or so. And I'm posting them over on the JustACoupleGs YouTube channel. It's the channel with my girlfriend. It's basically like behind the scenes of GBFC, as well as like island life in Bali. So if that sounds like something you'd want as like an additional video to what you get here on GBFC with the regulars, then make sure you check that out, linked in the description. We begin, first of all, talking about Estêvão Willian. Estêvão will be in London before the end of the year to visit Chelsea at Cobham and maybe Stamford Bridge. Well, I'm hoping if he comes all the way from Brazil and he goes to London to visit Cobham, it would be a bit of a foolish move, wouldn't it, if you managed to come all this way and not go and see a Chelsea game. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the bloke in a box, sat with Bedadig Bali or Todd Bowley, or whatever Saudi Arabian consortium take us over next week. It's not happening, but we're going to talk about it later in this video. Estêvão, for those of you that don't know, this kid is the real deal. I'm going to stick a clip right here on this side of my face so that you guys can just watch. This is a recent video. I actually recorded this. It was posted by, I think, The Secret Scout. This kid is incredible. When it comes to goals and assists, the record for a player under the age, I think, of 18 or 18 and under in the Brasileiro was held by Neymar. And in 33 matches, Neymar held this record. Estêvão has broken Neymar's record in only 24 games. The man is an absolute genius. And I think Chelsea, when we think about the main players that we've bought, we've spent a lot of money, we've bought in a lot of talent, we've got a lot of attacking players. I think that there's no way that this guy doesn't make it straight away at Chelsea. The initial reports have been that Estêvão, who joins next summer, will come straight into Chelsea. He's not going to be loaned out. The club hierarchy see him as a player that will feel like a brand new signing next year to come straight into the team. I think he's going to be joining after the Club World Cup. I think Palmeiras, the team that he's playing for in Brazil, they're also in that World Cup. I'm not entirely sure if it's the case that he'll play for them and then come to Chelsea, or he joins and then the first action that we see of him is going to be in that Club World Cup. I hope it is the latter. But for Estêvão, there's obviously going to be a period where he needs to bed himself in, move in as a teenager. He'll still be a teenager, only 18 years old. Going from Brazil to Europe is difficult. Even if you go from Brazil to Portugal, where they both speak Portuguese, it's not going to be easy. Moving away from all your family, he's probably obviously going to bring family members with him. But moving to England, different language, new country, different climate. We're not going to, I personally won't be expecting immediate fireworks. But at the same time, I really hope that we are patient with him. I think we should bleed him in slowly. And there were rumours a while back that he was coming and he wants the number 10. And everyone's obviously like, well, Cole Palmer's the number 10, mate. Jog on. I don't think it's the case. I think there will definitely be a way where Maresca, notice how we're looking at the manager and we're talking beyond this season. It's definitely going to happen, in my opinion. Say that now, clip me up and show me that in March if he's been sacked. But I think Estêvão is going to be a serious, serious player. Chelsea have done incredibly well to get this deal done. We move into the news here about JustACoupleGs. If you don't know who this kid is, he's the young right back, Chelsea Academy product. Recently signed his first professional contract. And right now, this is the latest news. This comes from Simon Phillips and through The Athletic. JustACoupleGs has been told that he will not play for Chelsea's first team or development squad until he signs a new contract. Now, in black and white terms, we know that the Chelsea Football Club hierarchy have been trying to make players sign these ridiculously long deals, 7, 8, 9-year deals, taking us beyond 2030, where the world is probably taken over by robots. If you don't sign one of these deals, you're frozen out. I don't quite agree with this. I understand what the club are trying to do from like a panicking perspective, where apparently Liverpool, I think PSG, Dortmund, Real Madrid, these clubs were interested in signing Achampong this summer. Obviously, Chelsea kept him. He signed a professional contract at Chelsea. He's a really good young player, but I think the reason right now that he's not signing that new deal is because you've got Malo Gusto and Reece James ahead of you. We've already seen Tino Livramento leave, really talented young right back. Tarek Lamptey, exactly the same with him. So, to be fair, if you're going to have Reece James, who is an unbelievable right back, and if he's fit, obviously, he's the guy. Malo Gusto's obviously come in at Chelsea, clearly, top player for his age, only going to improve. I can fully understand here and empathise with JustACoupleGs' situation. Why would you sign a new long-term deal at Chelsea when you don't see a direct pathway to the first team? Chelsea are obviously worried about this because if he doesn't sign a new deal, then he's going to go for cheap. We lose a really talented player that will probably be worth 5, 6, 7 times the value that we get in terms of a fee. We're going to lose him. Like, it's a difficult situation, but at the same time, I think this is one of those cases where if you're going to sign a load of players, you're going to have a transfer policy where you just sign. When you've got players like Axel Disasi that will get put in at right back before Achampong, I fully understand why he's looking at the situation and thinking, well, how am I ever going to get into this team? So why would I sign your contract? So for me, this could be one of those watershed moments for the new owners when it comes to how we deal with these academy players. I think freezing Achampong out of first team action and the development squad is ridiculous. I think the right way to deal with this is to obviously take a bit of time, speak to the guy, outline a way that he gets into this team, show him that it's possible. But at the same time, when you look at the way that we've just sold academy players, even those that have performed well, even those that have broke into the first team, even won European Cups for Chelsea, not saying it was the wrong decision, but the way that academy players look at the way academy players are being sold left, right and centre, it does make you understand why Achampong wouldn't want to sign this new deal right now. Let's see how this one develops. But as of right now, it's a tricky situation. And I think at this point in time, we're worried that we're going to lose the highly rated teenager. But at the same time, I just think you can't have a really great young right back and have 2 really good high-level right backs above him and expect him to just want to play third string, but it's not even third string because Disasi gets picked before he does. So he's the 4th choice. For me, I fully understand it, but Chelsea were left bewildered when they found out the contract would not be signed. They thought the agreement was there. Anyway, let's move into some slightly more positive news, shall we? This is unbelievable, by the way, and I don't know if it's because, like, I'm an emotional, reactionary football fan. When I see players saying words that, like, feel warm inside, it gets me going, all right? This is Cole Palmer on spending his entire career at Chelsea. Absolutely, I can see that. Chelsea feels like home to me, and I'm very excited about what we can achieve together. I'm fully committed to the club and its future. Now, this comes from The Telegraph, Telefootball, and I think with all of the recent rumours, and you look at Manchester City, and Phil Foden's not been playing much this season, currently a big debate about who's England's number 10. Is it Foden? Is it Palmer? Why can't it just be both of them? Stick Jude Bellingham with Declan Rice behind, please. It's obvious, isn't it? But anyway, Palmer, this is exactly what you want to hear, isn't it? If you're a Chelsea fan, and right now, I think he's the best player in the world, minus a pretty average performance at Liverpool, but it's understandable. You can't do it every week. Messi doesn't. Ronaldo doesn't. It's simple. Cole Palmer saying this is proof that right now there is a great atmosphere at Chelsea. The project is something that is building. As much as using the term project, referring to it all the time as a project, just seems like kind of a hollow way of explaining it now. When results aren't going well, referring to this project is annoying. It gets under people's skin. It's tedious. But in this case, I think we've done everything we possibly could to facilitate that window to enable Palmer to showcase what he can do. And I think when you look at some of the videos that you see of him at City, when he's won those trophies, but hasn't really had much to say in the actual winning of it, it's like a bit of imposter syndrome. And what that means is when you kind of want to be happy and you want to go for it, but you're not fully convinced that you either deserve it or you're not confident in your abilities. I think with Palmer, it was never a case of not being confident in his ability, but it's like, how can you really, if you're a player that doesn't really play, you can win all these trophies and lift all these trophies, but you can see in the clips where Edison's trying to get Palmer to lift the trophy up and like he just looks a bit shy. And I think it's because he knew that it was his destiny to do this somewhere where he's the main character, where he's the main guy. And I think at Chelsea, we're obviously always going to be considered a massive club, but he joined the club when we were in a state of disarray and single-handedly at times last season took us from the mire and lifted us to where we finished, which was 6th. And right now we're 6th again, but we look a lot better than we did last year. And Palmer, I'd say, looks even better than he did last year. And at the start of the season, I was like, is that even going to be possible? But anyway, great news there regarding Cole Palmer. As well as that, he spoke about his future chances of winning the Ballon d'Or. If I work hard, I believe I can win it one day. It's a surprise to be recognised at this level so early in my career. Being in the Ballon d'Or list already, it's a great honour. I think what I love about Palmer is the fact that A, he's humble. That's obvious on the surface of everything. But it's the nonchalant way that he just goes about being. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything is just like, it bypasses him, but when he needs to deliver, he does. The moment where he sat down on the grass when the Forest and Chelsea players are fighting, yes, he'd just been booked, but at the same time, you can see that the brain is working. It doesn't always come across like he's the smartest cookie in every single interview, but Chelsea are absolutely blessed here. And when we bring it back to the Estêvão signing and how exciting that's going to be, the future for this club is very bright indeed. The next piece of news, Chelsea will welcome Thomas Tuchel back with open arms as the England manager, despite their messy divorce. I am so excited to see when Thomas Tuchel, obviously the new England manager, Chelsea got a lot of English players. He's going to be looking at Reece James, Cole Palmer, Levi Colwill. We are going to have a really great time at Stamford Bridge when he comes back. Hopefully, the atmosphere is still positive around Maresca at that time, but I'm also looking forward to seeing Tuchel back at Stamford Bridge. The final story that we're going to discuss today is the potential of a Saudi state takeover at Chelsea. Now, I know what you're thinking. Benson, this is far-fetched news. We're going to read it out here. There is even the feeling within the game that the Saudi state is ultimately eyeing a bigger club. Rumours abound about both Liverpool and Chelsea. Realistically, the Saudi state buying Liverpool is probably more likely, but there's always going to be that thing about Chelsea Football Club, West London, very prestigious part of England's capital city. And to be fair, with all of the rules right now in the Premier League regarding financial fair play, the Newcastle takeover will not have been as great as they thought it was going to be. So to see the news that the Saudi state want to actually go out there and buy a club of the stature of Liverpool, Chelsea, does not surprise me whatsoever. I don't think this is going to happen. I think it would be the most crazy thing possible, but this is football. This is Chelsea. The craziest thing would be right now if the club decided, if Badad Iqbali and all of the other stakeholders, Todd Bowley, if everybody sold up now, when things just seem to be actually flowing and going in the right direction, madness. But we also didn't expect Roman Abramovich to have the club taken away. I don't think there's absolutely any legs in this whatsoever. I think the Saudi state can want to buy Chelsea, but I don't see Clearlake. I don't see Bedad Iqbali. I don't see these guys giving up the club. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Massive thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to GBFC if you haven't already done so and you're new. And this is video number 1 of today. Video number 2, of course, it's the day before match day. Panathinaikos away in the Conference League. The preview will be out later on today. So stay tuned to the channel for that one. Let me know your thoughts on all the news in the comments down below. Check out the vlog channel with Georgie. Link in the description. And we'll see you guys later.